Hey, Gator Nation. Welcome back to Respect Our Decision podcast. This is the world's largest outdoor cocktail party edition. As always, guys, I've got Mike with me
What's going on?
and our hype man, Wes.
What's up, Gator Nation?
Yes, sir. Got a jam packed episode for y'all as always this week. Got a lot of things to talk about all across the board. Want to go ahead and remind y'all, as always, go ahead and download us wherever you get your podcast from. We're available on all your major providers. Want to go ahead and make sure y'all go ahead and check us out on YouTube. Respect Our Decision. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the videos, leave a comment. Want to give y'all a big shout out and appreciation for giving us our highest viewed YouTube video ever this week, pressing up around 400 views now. It's been a big week for us on that front, guys, and we can't say enough how much we appreciate all the love. As always, y'all are helping us grow this thing, and that's what we're looking to do, is just grow it bigger and better for y'all all the time. As always, guys, if you would like to support us as creators, you can support us on Patreon at Respect Our Decision. And as always, each and every dollar we make from this, we put back into the podcast to be able to make better content for you guys. Big shout out to Patreon Brandon Stewart this week. Thank you for your support. We also want to give a big shout out to our boy Connor Clark last week for coming on with us and all the amazing insight that Connor always provides. Make sure you go check out Connor, SIL Gators, and the Varsity Podcast on the Roll Up Network. Connor does a tremendous job covering recruiting and all things Gator football. So make sure you check him out. And before we get on with the episode, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Camwood Supplements. Make sure you go to camwoodsupplements.com for your, get your good, clean supplements for your workout, your post-workout, and get your greens for your digestive health. Once again, I can't say enough about the products. I've used them all. Phenomenal products. Make sure you use code RESPECT20. Save 20% on your first purchase. And with that being said, guys, we're going to jump right into it, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight. All the way from recruiting down to the Dirty Dogs, man. It's a big week. A lot of stuff happening, not just on the football field, but every week, first thing we do, we try to bring to y'all our Under the Lights segment. Wes is going to give y'all a rundown of what our commits and targets did under the lights Friday night. And as always, you can catch that thread every Friday night on our Twitter page at Respect Our DCN. Go check it out. Wes, what you got, brother?
Appreciate it, Hirsch. We got some guys that we hadn't talked about in a while. Want to give you some updates on these guys. We're going to start first with Eugene Wilson. He was out injured for a couple weeks, and he came back with a huge night on Friday. Eugene had 9 receptions for 243 yards and 3 touchdowns. So that kid, I know some fans were kind of down when we lost Creed, but Eugene is going to be a big addition to this wide receiver class that we've talked about. Mike's boy KC did a hell of a job getting him into this class along with the other wide receivers. So shout out to Eugene for his phenomenal night last Friday. Jakeem Jackson, the corner in our class, he had 5 tackles and interceptions in a win. So shout out to Jakeem Jackson for another one of the corners in what we feel like we needed to get back as far as our secondary, getting a lot of young, talented guys. So Jakeem is part of that class coming in. Will Norman, D tackle, he had 5 tackles and 3 tackles for loss in a win himself. So shout out to Will Norman. He had a good night on Friday. A 2024 commit, Chauncey Bowens, our running back. We probably going to take 2 running backs in 24 class, but the one that we have in there now, he had 130 yards and 3 TDs. He's a phenomenal, a good back, a good addition to the class. So he will be paired with someone else, but he had a great night on Friday as well. A couple updates on some injuries. Aiden Mizell, he's still recovering from a knee injury, so he's not playing. He was one of the guys that we thought with the great senior season that he would move up in the rankings, but he hasn't played much his senior years. But hey, another good wide receiver that we have coming into class. Another injury update: Aaron Gates. He tore his ACL early in the year. For those who didn't know, so he's been out as well. So those are two guys that are in the classes for secondary and wide receiver. Two of our most prominent positions that we feel like needed to be overhauled that were out on injury as far as their senior years considered. So you guys, Hirsch, Mike, you guys got anybody you want to highlight or talk about, or mention, or anybody that I didn't even put on this list?
Just a few other quick notes. Marcus Stokes' niece team was on a bye this week, so he didn't play as well. Trayvon Webb and Trinity, they played a very, very vastly inferior opponent. So a lot of the starters in that game did not play. So Trayvon Webb actually did not play this week due to coaches making the decision there. They wanted to get a lot of the younger guys some playing time.
And I just want to kind of spoken this previously a few shows ago. So extremely excited to see what Eugene does with us year one, because I definitely think he sees the field. No redshirt involved.
Without a doubt. I'm sure that injury stuff will hurt him as far as rankings go going forward. I mean, unless he just absolutely has a game like he had this week, every week going forward. They tend to hold injuries against players in their rankings more often than not. I know a lot of people were hoping that Eugene could get up in that top 50, top 30 range, but it'll probably be a hit or miss with that. And like I said, unless he just absolutely has a blow-up performance every week, which he's capable of. So,
speaking of what you said about injuries, just a little short tidbit, just like we always kept saying when Treon Well was on this list last year, I think Treon might have been like top 50 in the country. 2 years ago, top 50, and then he had an injury field sophomore year, and they kind of dropped him in his junior year. So good. That's why I kept harping on him having this great senior season. So maybe hopefully he gets his ranking back to where he was originally before the injury his junior year.
Yep. A lot of things going on with these kids. A lot of kids having great weeks and helping their team get a lot of big W's. We got a lot of talent coming in. And with that, we're going to segue, guys, because we're going to talk about the recruiting aspect of things right now. And Florida Gator recruiting is hot. Like, woo, turn up the heat, Ricky Bobby said. You know what I mean? Big time news this week, guys. And I'm not talking about the next piece. I'm talking about what happened first. Roderick Kearney, offensive tackle, committed to Florida State, flipped to the Florida Gators this week. Huge flip for Billy Napier, Rob Sale, and the Florida Gator offensive staff. Oh, my goodness. Number 123 overall recruit in the composite rankings. A kid that probably projects as a guard at the next level more than a tackle, but this is a big time get. And I know a certain member of this show is excited to see that happen. He's had Coach Sales back the entire time. Mike, I know you're pleased.
The not only Sale and just the whole O-line coaching staff as a unit,
Coach Stapleton as well. Shout out.
Yeah, even the assistants behind them, the support staff. I've held strong. I've never wavered, unlike some of my colleagues here.
It's true. I'll eat that crow.
Hey, look, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not here to gloat.
Never.
But I mean, it like I said, just with KC, he's got to hold strong. They develop guys. They're gonna show. Billy has a plan as well, but they're gonna show, hey, we're to run the ball. Hard-nosed unit, Osiris, going to be a potential day one, definitely day two pick. And hey, follow the visits, man. Like I said, I never waver. You guys are, freaking out. What's going on with, the board? Hey, let it work itself out. All right. And I'm just saying. So, and now we just got a top 200 kid. So.
And we're very much in the hunt for a for a 5-star offensive tackle. And Samson I can't say his last name correctly. Y'all are going to kill me.
Let's just call him
Akanula. I can't say his last name. Y'all just have to forgive me. But
Spell
this
it
is
for him. Mike can spell it.
This is a top 15 prospect in the country, guys. And the interest is real. It's not just a one-way. We're reaching out to him. He's talking to us. So, as always, got to get him on campus. It's, talking on the telephone, text messages are good. Got to get him on campus. If he makes a visit, all bets are off. And then we'll really see what happens. But that leads to the next piece of gigantic news, guys. We are in what we like to call Merry Cormani Eve. Tomorrow, the big fish, number 2 overall recruit in the country, Cormani McClain, commits. And all signs point to the Gators. I think you'd be hard-pressed here at the 0 hour to find anybody that would make an argument that he goes elsewhere other than some fans south of Gainesville. They're still holding out hope he either comes to them or goes to Bama. Maybe a certain individual in Polk County. But enough about that. This is huge, guys. This is looks to be the biggest commit Florida's got in I think since Martez Ivy.
Yep, that's it.
Whew. What do we say, guys? I mean, what we've talked about Cormani, probably since the very first episode. Cormani was the guy that pretty much every one of us said that's a must get. Kid's been a Gator fan his whole life. Ahmad Black is his position coach at a Florida Gator stronghold in Lakeland. It was a can't miss, and it looks like Billy got the job done, guys. What are your thoughts?
End of the day, another episode of stuff in Nicholas Saban in a locker. I mean, I wish I could say I was surprised. I mean, just overall, we're just doing it for now. It's other position players, but it's hey, just if he needs to learn, if it's a DB in the state of Florida and Corey Raymond wants him, he's unavailable. So it's just I'm glad to see Napier is truly putting his foot down. And it's a statement not only in the SEC but nationally as well. We've spoken that recently with Connor, and it's good. Anytime you get arguably, well, he's the number 2 player in the country, but arguably the best player in the country, it's going to open up the national recruiting scene to you and get all eyes on you. And that's also going to get other players to look to you as well, knowing that he is on board officially. At even if sometimes kids, they're in text groups like, hey, I'm silently committed. Well, that's worthless sometimes. But like when you get a player to Cormani's level, he's been at a top tier for a couple of years now. It gets other kids looking at your school this year and next.
Yeah, I mean, you Corey Raymond, you Billy Napier. You talk about how recruiting is important. You have the number 2. I consider the number 1 player. We know who the number 1 player is considered, but we all us disagree with Arch Manning being the number 1 player. So, but that's neither here nor there. Cormani is the number 2 player in the country by all recruiting sites. So you got to get this guy. If you're going to talk about recruiting and this guy's in your backyard, and Hirsch mentioned Ahmad Black, Lakeland High School, all that stuff, you got this. You have to seal this deal. And we talked about it from the very first episode. It was all through the summer, all through the fall. Now here, the big day tomorrow. You had to get this guy to show, like we talked about, that this is something that will change the landscape. We have a great DB class, and this is just adding to that spectacular class. We all see the play on the field. We all know that we need a change there. So to add this kid, the number 2 player in the country, number 1 DB in the country, is just phenomenal. So big kudos to Billy for sealing this once it happens tomorrow, and Corey Raymond as well. That's why you got Corey Raymond on your staff.
Yeah, one final thing. We were talking earlier on about, yes, this is nice getting, the Kelby Collins, the Mizels of the world, but you need, if you want to make that next step, you're going to need these top 10 5, 15, 20 players to truly, like I said, make that next step in the recruiting tier. So you can't get to recruiting tier 1, the UGAs, the Ohio States of the world, unless you truly jump into tier 2. So, and right now we're not quite up to the upper echelon with Notre Dame and Clemson and everything, but we're, with Cormani, I think I have to do the class calculator, but we'll possibly jump them. So, we're well on our way, and more to come.
Yeah. You can't overstate the importance, as both of y'all hit on. I mean, this is just huge. This is the signature recruit for Billy Napier up to this point. So with that, though, came another little piece of news that dropped on Saturday, the 22nd, and that was what was arguably the top player in the 24 class, another 5-star cornerback, Desmond Ricks, reclassified to the 2023 class. And this really makes things interesting, guys. I mean, Mike just made a comment a second ago. If you're a DB, top DB in the state of Florida, Corey Raymond is saying you're mine. Well, here we go. There had been rumors up until this happened that if Ricks reclassified, that would be bad for Florida. And by bad for Florida, I meant if Florida got Cormani, because there were a lot of people that said Cormani and Ricks are not going to be in the same class. That's 2 alpha corners. They're probably not going to play together. But some things happened along the way. One being the Florida Gator secondary room looked like a hot barn fire. There are positions to be had all over the field. So you could be 2 alpha elite DBs and come in and see the field sooner than later. Some have said LSU is in this. Some have said Bama leads this. He's visiting FSU this weekend. He's been to Florida quite a few times. He was here Friday Night Light weekend. Billy made a absolute point to meet every member of his family when they arrived at the new facility and got to know each and every one of them. And Ricks raved about how important that was to him. He was here last weekend, the weekend before last, for the LSU game. We're in this thing, guys. I don't care what anybody says on a message board or whatever right now. We're in it until we're not. And it may, getting Ricks may mean losing a Jackson or a Denson.
Or Gates.
I have a hard time seeing him dropping Gates with the injury. We'll see. We've seen it happen before. So,
Annie has been looking at Michigan quite a while.
And he has been looking around. And that might be writing on the wall. That might be writing on the wall as well. He may know.
That's Gates for those who don't know. We're talking about Gates that's in the class.
Aaron Gates committed to Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
And Corey and our DB coaches, Tony and Raymond like Gates, but you take a Ricks 10 out of 10 times twice on Sunday, whatever the saying is, you take Ricks over anybody and not named Cormani McClain.
I want to say this point before we move on. We have to get out of that mindset. As Florida fans, I've had it too with PTSD that we can only get one guy. If you look at Bama's class, as far as DB, I'm just talking DB. They have a couple guys in the class. I think Tony Mitchell's over there. AJ Harris is at Georgia. So if they're in it and he doesn't want to play with Cormani, then why would he want to play with AJ Harris at Georgia? Or I forgot the other DB that Bama has over there. So we're still in this. So I don't want to hear these are new times for us. So we have, like Mike's point, we have the best DB coach, Corey Raymond, in the country. So stop saying we can only get Cormani and then we'll lose on Ricks. I don't believe that, because this is a new era, new coach, the best DB coach in the country. So I believe we have a big chance of getting Ricks. Why wouldn't he want to play with Cormani if he's on the other side? They're not DBs, two to three DBs on the field all the time. So he's not competing directly with Cormani. He can have the other corner spot. So those are the things that we have to think about as Florida fans to stop. I know PTSD from recruiting in the past it has infiltrated a lot of us, but we have to get out of that mindset and think big.
And you to piggyback off that really quick, Wes, at a different position, running back, who also plays multiple players, puts them on the field. Bama's got the number 2 and number 3 running back in the country. So there you go. Leave it at
that. Well put, guys. Well, great points on all fronts. Like I said, we're in this thing until Desmond Rick says we're not in this thing. And I don't think he's saying that from what I've heard. We'll let it play out. We'll see how it goes. But that could just be another absolutely ridiculous piece to this class that Billy's building. So with some good news comes a little bit of shaky news. And with that being said, Caden McDonald, personal favorite of this podcast, is looking like that might be on shaky ground right now. The defensive tackle out of Georgia, the true nose tackle that Mike has wanted.
Only. We don't have a nose tackle. Let's not act like we have one.
Right now, nobody has a read on this kid. Nobody. Ohio State fans or people in Ohio State's insiders say they don't know. Clemson insiders aren't saying a whole lot. Our guys are saying it's not looking great on our front right now, but we're still in it. This is going to be one that on Halloween, we're just going to have to keep our fingers crossed and hope that he wakes up that morning and has I have to be at the University of Florida moment, because right now it's kind of, it looks like we might be on the outside looking in. And I know that contradicts what we were saying a couple weeks ago. But apparently this kid is one of those that tells every staff something really good and gives them the warm and fuzzies everywhere he goes. So, and there's more to it, but Mike, you got something you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge whiff on if this occurs. Okay, it's a must get. The mother loves Florida, so already got the mom. So that's at this point. Once again, we don't have any. I mean, we have some other backup plans, but in terms of true noses, you got the one that committed to South Carolina. You can always circle back around to him, but I'm not a big fan of him. I know Wes isn't either. But even hypothetically, if we get John Walker, he's not a true nose. Yes, he can play, but I think you're taking away some of his penetration capabilities if you do put him in nose. McClellan, not a true nose. I think once again he's some more. You're taking away some of his penetration capabilities. So we do not have a nose. This class is not full of noses. So I think we have a phenomenal defensive line class, and it's. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous.
I'll take
it's ridiculous.
You
heard Connor. We need a nose tackle. I'm sorry. So at this point, I'll take a developmental nose who I know will be at least good in 2 to 3 years. And I guess we have to get transfers because our D-line coach doesn't know how to get nose tackles. So I'm going to go back on my rants.
I don't know if we talk about true noses, the only nose that I think he and because I agree with you, we need a nose in the class. I never said that we didn't need one. I think to something that you and kind of addressed, if we got a nose, whoever it may have been, to have somebody come in I think we always had to go to the portal to get somebody to be able to play
absolutely
next year behind Watson. So to me, we have to do that. So if we get a developmental guy, that'll be fine. I think McDonald might have been the only true nose in this class that, as far as highly rated guy, and McDonald's not that highly rated, even though we feel like he's underrated in the class. So we still have to go, whether we got McDonald or not. We all three can agree that we still had to hit the portal to get somebody to play behind Desmond Watson next year, especially if Chris McCauley can slide into the Dexter, the Gavon. If Dexter leaves, we can see McCullough slide into Dexter's spot. Maybe I'm saying if Gavon leaves.
Yeah, that's a big if.
Yeah. So if you were to leave, you would prefer to have maybe, even though McCullum can play the nose, you would prefer him to be in Dexter's position. Same thing with Walker, who we hope we flip. Kind of did tell us last week that he can, even though he can play the nose as well, like McCullum, his best attribute is probably getting up the field. So McDonald is probably the only true nose in this class. So I thought we had a shot at him. We probably still do have a shot because, like her said, we don't know where he's going at this point in time. So
it's literally a coin flip at this point, and I just don't have a good feeling about it. That's all I'm going to really say.
Yeah, and I leave that alone.
Everybody else, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
This is the last thing. There's once again McClellan, but there's a reason we're getting shredded with the run right now.
Well, guys,
people want to know.
Let's one final topic we're going to talk about before we get off of recruiting, and because it's kind of a hot topic in the Big Three circles right now, and I kind of want to get our opinions on it. So, as we've noticed, Miami's a steaming pile of garbage right now, and not just the uniforms that they had made out of trash. And the word on the streets is their commits are starting to reach out to other schools and vice versa, that contact is being made by schools seeing if they would like to better their standing. And one of those names is our old friend, Jaden Rashada. Many people have said that his people have never stopped calling us, that we've had conversations with them, vice versa, yada, yada. So I want to pose this question. We know what we have in Marcus Stokes. He is what he is. He's a stash and hope he grows quarterback. He's 3 years probably from being anything remotely serviceable on the college level. If Jaden Rashada calls tomorrow and says, I want to be a Florida Gator, do you take that call?
You want me to go first, Mike, or you going to go first?
I can go. I mean, you can take the call. I mean, would I accept the commitment?
Yes.
Okay. First and foremost, we're missing a variable here. It's very important. Is DJ Lagway. So is DJ Lagway?
But that's part of it. You're absolutely right. That's what.
Go ahead.
DJ Lagway is projected to commit in January as of today.
Okay. So I mean, I'll hit both variables. If he's okay with it, as he should be, I mean, I want to say should. Most quarterbacks are okay with it. So if he is okay with the commitment, I'd obviously take it. If you are going to turn down a quarterback commit, I'm sorry. I would like to know why, because it makes no sense. You don't turn down talent. The kid's talented.
Still the number 56 composite player in the country as of today.
And the issue was, going into it, he was not accurate. Well, he's exponentially increased his accuracy. So the kid was never an issue. It was never an attitude issue. It was his handlers. Okay. So if you're going to turn down talent, you don't want to win. All right. So moving forward, now, if I had to pick Lagway or him, I'm picking Lagway. Lagway is more accomplished. He seems like he's more ready, year one ready.
Polished.
And more polished as well. So in smart money would say AR's coming back, so you're good for that 1 year. And if worst case scenario, you got to get another quarterback transfer in the portal, you're not comfortable with Miller. I know I'm not, because he's from the state of Arizona, and it is what it is. It's a call spade here. I would just go portal hunting for a year. So we're not winning a natty next year. So
I'm at the point where it doesn't matter what DJ says, and this is what I mean by that, because we got to wait for him to commit in January. If he's going to commit to us today, then that's different. We don't know. You don't know if he's going to commit to us in January or not. He may say, I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with it. And then he goes and picks Clemson or Texas A&M. Then you miss on Rashada. We don't have time for that. I don't have time to be waiting. If he guarantees us, if he guarantees us our commitment, that may be another thing. But I'm not in the whatever. If you look at Kirby, he stocks 5-star after 5-star quarterback. Now he may misuse his quarterbacks and has the walk-on Stetson Bennett out there, but he recruits 5-star quarterback after 5-star quarterback. Clemson over there, they got was Vizaina coming, and then they had the number one quarterback club play this Saturday. So if he's going to go to Clemson, he's going to play behind two top highly rated quarterbacks. And you scared of Jaden Rashada? Nah, I don't care about what DJ has to say at this point in time because we can't afford to be waiting. This is a talent acquisition business, and if DJ is who we think it is, then we gotta then you should have no fear of that guy. You definitely can't go to Clemson and talking about that they have the number one QB and I'm going to butcher his name, Viziana, in this current class. So which is rated higher than Rashada. So where you gonna go? Jimbo has a bonfire over there. What would you call it? A hot bonfire at Texas A&M. So that's where you want to go. So my thing is, to Mike's point, we have to get talent. So to me, DJ waiting to January is not going to make me stop and say I don't want to get Jaden Rashada because we don't know. You playing the what if? We both know recruiting is fluid. Is in influx. We just talked about Cade McDonald. We thought we were the front runner from him. We don't know where he's going now. We don't have time for all that, man.
I'm not actually a great point you brought up. What would you say though? Quarterback is a very different position. Like if you got a committed quarterback, they take one visit, likelihood they're gone. So that being said, what if it's a done deal behind the scenes, right? And you can, and this will be the final point on this, and I'll give you let you finish it, Wes. If it's a done deal behind the scenes, but he's waiting for a particular time frame, like January 2nd. Okay, cool, it's done. So he is committed, but it's just for whatever reason he's waiting. Are you okay with that? Because right now it's just public. Like there's certain. I'm not going to bring the names up. I know certain kids right now that are committed. We're just waiting on a set date.
Yeah, I know. I'm with that. So that scares me, man.
Let me just say this. I always take a bird in the hand. Like you said, Lagway's still going to visit. He visited Clemson last week. He's going to visit Jimbo's Marshmallow Roast this weekend.
Tell him to go Friday night.
Then he's going, go see the overall boys. Then he's going to see Lincoln Riley out at USC. That one, talk about a man that stockpiles quarterbacks. I always am good with a bird in the hand. If you can get a top 60 quarterback today, I have a hard time saying you don't take that quarterback. The biggest phrase in recruiting is nothing's ever for sure in recruiting. Except that Will Levis is terrible at football.
All
right, guys. Well, that's about it for the recruiting for this week. Make sure everybody tunes in tomorrow night. Cormani's ceremony is taking place between 6 and 8. I don't know a hard time on when he's going to commit. I would take the later portion of that. If it's 6 to 8, I would say it's going to be closer to 8 for sure. But I don't know that. I'm sure people will be posting the links, and I'll try to make sure once I have a link for it, I will post it on our Twitter account for anybody that follows us so they can go ahead and follow that ceremony for Cormani McClain tomorrow.
His mom posted it the other day. I'll put it on the Facebook page. I'll shoot it to you so you can upload it to.
Absolutely. We'll make sure everybody that follows us has an opportunity to get that information from us. So, guys, it's UGA Hate Week. So it's time to start talking about those damn dirty dogs. Mike, hit us with some information.
Yeah, first and foremost, to hell with Georgia. Now, moving on to the outlook. For Kirby Smart, he's in his 7th season as having a bowl cut as the head coach of the University of Georgia. He's a record of 73-15 to defend national champs due to knee injuries for Alabama receivers, but that's neither here nor there. In July, he actually signed a 10-year, $112.5 million contract, making him the highest paid coach in the country this season. This year, they are 7-0, ranked number 1 in the country, and they right now they're 56 in the strength of schedule. The notable games they play this year are Oregon, they won 49-3. But keep in mind that was a Bo Nix led football team, and also a friendly reminder that Bo Nix is bad at football. Now the other one, this one was they scared a lot of Georgia fans. So Missouri got a lot of pressure on Stetson Bennett, made it extremely uncomfortable and nearly caused a major upset. Came down to the wire, a couple controversial no calls actually, and it was Missouri definitely could have won that ball game. Now for some impact players, arguably their best player is going to be defensive tackle Jalen Carter. He's a future top 5, even future top 10, even top 5 pick. He's doubtful for the game with a sprained MCL. He's missed the last 2 games actually as well. Also, wide receiver A.D. Mitchell, once again doubtful, ankle. And just from Stetson Bennett to show the level of importance of this receiver. He's one of the best receivers in the country, if not the best. We've missed him. I'm hoping to get him back. Also, unfortunately, I have these 2 animals, tight end Brock Bowers and tight end Darnell Washington. Washington is about 6'7", 270, and Bowers runs like 4.5 40 with 40-inch vertical. QB Stetson Bennett, defensive end Nolan Smith, former number 1 overall recruit in the country, underperformed throughout his career, but he's definitely a future NFL potential starter. And at the money position, you have Jamon Dumas, whatever, and Johnson. It's a leader at the linebacker position, and he's their best blitzer. And strong safety Chris Smith, captain of the secondary. Now, some of the additional injuries: Small Mondon, linebacker, and running back Kendall Milton, who is questionable. Now, little tidbits: we got their defense still good, but nowhere near last year's historic unit. Bennett has proven to be even more vulnerable with this year's team. He's a talented quarterback, but he's more of a game manager. So, like Missouri, if you get him out of his comfort zone, this team is, once again, like I said, very vulnerable. Going back to that tight end combination with Bowers and Washington, they are just absolute nightmares with their size and speed combination. Just if it was just one, it'd be a lot easier, obviously. But having both of them, and the fact that Washington can be in line, help with the run game, and can flex out Bowers as a receiver. Not obviously he's not Pitts, but utilize him at like out wide XY position. It makes their offense very flexible. Now both the O-line and the running backs aren't what UGA usually puts out. It's usually a strength of the team. It's more of a down year in regards to this. Now, in regards to the running back, they don't truly have a primary running back, more of a running back by committee, similar to Billy's approach. You don't really know, kind of go with a hot hand. And Dejon Edwards, Kendall Milton, once again, questionable. Kenny McIntosh and Branson Robinson are going to be the 4 backs there. And Kenny McIntosh, he's a very talented 2-way back there. He actually leads second in receptions on the team with 28. Now, Wes, I got a couple questions on there for you. Starting out for do you think UGA's D line can apply pressure to rattle Stetson Bennett at all?
Well, you mean to my AR?
No, UGA's D line, Stetson Bennett.
Can UGA's D line rattle Stetson Bennett? You mean rattle AR?
He's saying, can our defensive line?
Oh, I thought you said, can UGA's D line? My bad.
We're on UGA.
Okay. Yeah, Cox has to finish. We a lot of times see Cox get in the backfield, and sometimes those mobile quarterbacks kind of get away from him. But he needs help too. I need to see more people in the backfield with him, not just him doing, because he does a hell of a job getting back there. But he needs to finish it. Maybe if he misses, then that's where the second guy can clean up. A lot of times D linemen get their sacks because the first guy might miss, but you running me to the second guy. So we need a lot of team effort from our D line.
All right. And just one last thing about that. One matchup to truly watch out for is going to be Keely Ringo, their star corner, which Justin Shorter, who's number 10 in SEC in yardage. So if Shorter can, take advantage of that matchup, that's something definitely to look out for and help the offense tremendously. So, Wes, you want to finish this off?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about their defense and as far as a unit, as far as them applying pressure, as far as I don't want fans to think that even though you just stated that they're not the same defense from last year, but they're still good. The thing is, they can be had. I watch a lot of football on Saturday. I have a couple TVs up, so I don't just watch Florida, and of course I watch Georgia just because I want them to lose. But that this game this weekend is basically usually our biggest game on the schedule. So I've seen South Carolina, I've seen Missouri move the ball, but we saw what happened with what's the guy name from Arizona that's the quarterback for USC, Mike? What's his name? I want you to call it because you.
Spencer Rattler, who
Spencer Rattler, that guy
who's from the state of Arizona, so he's not a good football player.
Yeah, they moved the ball, but when they move the ball, they just couldn't finish. We saw that against Missouri in the game they should have lost. So the key for us, to me, is we'll be able to move the ball against them. We just have to finish drives off. And I see a lot of fourth down conversions in this game. So I just want to talk about their defense. And I think they can be had. Like you said, they're not the defense from last year, but they're still really, really, really good, and they're really, really sound, especially in the back seven. They're just not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. So I want to see Mike's O-line do their job this weekend.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to talk about a few things with UF real quick. Depth chart came out right before we went live on this, and nothing really subsequently changed. Best news of the day is Osiris Torrance is back from injury. It's not listed on the injury report at all, so that's a tremendous positive. Devin Moore is still out with a lower leg injury. DeJuan Black still out with a lower leg injury. But as far as that, I mean, going into a UGA week, guys, we're really healthy. I mean, as healthy as we've been in a long, long time going into this game. So injuries aren't an excuse. I know we've liked to play that card before, but that's not a card we can play this week. So that's about all that kind of information that's come out up to this point. Right now, what we're going to do, guys, is what we do every week, our pick six. The pick six being 3 things from each of us that the Gators need to do to beat UGA, and 3 things that we need to avoid versus UGA. So right now, we're going to go ahead and go with the first of the pick six, which is what we need to do to beat UGA. Mike, hit us with it.
Contain those monsters at the tight end position.
Oh boy.
What?
That's a scary thought.
Yeah. What's really scary is our line. Well, Ventrell Miller, as much as how great he is, leader of the defense, not great at coverage. So Trustin Burney, he has the athletic ability to stick with him, but no one can guard Brock Bowers. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. He's one of the best players in college football, and if I could sign a waivers for him to go to the draft this year, I really would. Darnell Washington has unfortunately proved me wrong and actually become a competent
not just an offensive tackle anymore.
I mean, to my credit, if you pull some goal line high point videos, and it was warranted. But anyways, he is a vertical threat, and so it's very just both these tight ends. They don't need the receivers. They just run the ball, and these tight ends will obliterate us. So if you can contain, keep Bowers under 80 yards, keep Washington under 50 yards, we can easily win this
watch
ball.
Them in the red zone.
Yeah, watch them in the red zone because they don't have the receivers. They're nicked up at running back. Their O-line is not what it usually is, and Stetson Bennett he's a game manager. That's all he truly is. So,
Wes, what do the Gators need to do to beat Georgia?
Stop making 3rd and long. look like 30
Stop making
inches.
it.
Yeah, stop making 30. Stop making 30 long look like 30 inches.
Paused on me.
Yeah.
You paused on me. I lost you.
Yeah. We gotta I said this against when we play LSU and I feel like I'm jinxing us by saying it again, but continue to do what we do on first and second down and finish the job. Finish the job on third down. Make third and long feel like third and long. We got to play our areas and play team defense, communicate well, and just stop playing hero ball in the secondary. I expect improvement. I will see improvement, and we would do what we need to do on third down. Because if we don't, it's going to be a long day.
Wes, I'm not going to lie. I think you might have had it right the first time before you paused. Maybe we should stop getting into third and long.
Ideally.
Maybe third and 4 or third and 3 is where a hot spot is. Maybe we need to do more of that, and then we can press up a little bit more and not give these huge coverage gaps.
You can't play off hard playoff ball third and 2.
Mine is we need to get pressure on Stetson early and often. As Mike brought up, Missouri did a fantastic job of that when they played. Got lots of pressure on Stetson, made him make some really bad throws, a lot of behind the receiver throws. Don't give those tight ends time to get open down the field. But with, I'll cover that in my void, but you just Cox, Gervon, Princely, all these guys need to have the game of their lives, basically, and just be in that backfield, but be smart the entire game. All right, guys, 3 things we need to avoid against UGA. Wes, you lead us off this time.
The 3 things we need to avoid.
The one for you.
The knockout blow. If you're Georgia, what you want to do is put your foot on our throats and kill our will. So we have to be able to, if they go down and score in the first, we on defense first, and let's say they go down and score, we have to be able to weather the storm, because they're going to try to kill us at the beginning of the game. That's what good football teams do. That's what Georgia does to teams usually. They kill you. They did it to Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago. They just annihilate them and then give them a chance to get back in the game. What Missouri did was stay in the game, and they gave themselves a chance to win it. Though they were playing at home, and they had and they forced some turnovers. So I don't know if we need maybe something that we kind of liked in the last couple of weeks. Besides, I think that since our corner Jaden Hill's pick 6 and then he sealed one, we need some more of that. So we need to do what we need to do and stay in the game.
Mike?
Well, I was going to say we can't start slow. Can have, once again, they're a more talented football team overall. They are nicked up, luckily, and hopefully we can take advantage of that. Have AR, have one of that Tennessee type of game, and just truly, get them in a position where Stetson Bennett has to pass the ball, and they can't just, they have to get out of their comfort zone. So if we start fast, maybe get double-digit points in the first quarter, we can get control of the game and play our game.
Mine echoes off of what I said in my things we need to do to beat Georgia was to get pressure on Stetson. Well, my thing we need to avoid is don't allow Stetson to break the pocket, which goes back to what I said about our guys need to be smart with how they handle their rush and how, keep the contain going. Speaking to you, Mr. Brenton Cox, the kid's got wheels, and God knows we say it. I feel like we say this every single episode now. Running quarterback kills us. And we just, for whatever reason, running quarterback is the kryptonite of, well, now we've got a few kryptonites, but the running quarterback, to me, makes everything else that much harder. Need to see Armani, Bernie have a great game, probably in a spiral at times. Make the kid have to throw the ball. That's all I can say is don't let him beat you with his feet. Make him beat you with his arm. So, guys, we got a few general questions now that we're done with the pick six that we just want to go over real quick, that we just kind of want to kind of a little round table we're going to talk about before we get to our impact players. And the first one being, can this Gator defense hang with and shut down Georgia enough to win this football game? Mike?
Actually, I believe they can, believe it or not. They don't have a receivers really, so we don't have to get worried about getting absolutely obliterated on the outside. I'm still having nightmares from those jump balls. With their running back by committee, and this bottom line, their O-line and running backs just being inferior than what they usually are, and what we have shown the ability from time to time to at least contain the run. We're not going to be. I don't see us getting manhandled up front. We do have some stud players with Gervin. McClellan has been stepping up. Desmond, we have him to clog the middle, and also Brenton Cox. He has something to prove with UGA being his old team. So we do have the bodies, and also Bernie is a very athletic person who could possibly match up pretty decently with Bowers. So I think we have some of the Jimmies and Joes. So absolutely, I think we can.
Wes? Muted.
Yeah, it depends on what I think our front four, maybe front seven does. Meaning, if we continue to put Stetson in thirds and longs and contain him in the pocket, then maybe we have to stop their run. So I think it can be done. I think giving us a week to make some changes, to self-scout, to talk to some guys, I think that will help us out. So we have the guys to do it. I don't know about the depth of the guys, but as far as the starting 11, maybe we starting 10. Maybe we do have a starting 10 that can do their job, but we need 11 guys to be on the same page. And I think you guys know what I mean when I say 11 guys on the same page and not 10.
I think we have the ability. Let me say this. We need the effort that we had versus Utah in the opening game. I'm not going to say that Utah's offense and UGA offense is the same, but there are similarities. They had two very good tight ends. A smart quarterback that could run, that could make the passes when needed to. I mean, and Stetson may not even be as good as rushing was for Utah. Just more experience. And Utah obviously had a good running game. UGA's I wouldn't put on the same. I mean, they get a lot of their yards in dead time when the other team is already destroyed and they're just trying to run the clock. I will say that, having watched a lot of UGA football. It's going to take a very, very similar effort on all fronts to hang with UGA in this game. Now, granted, UGA has more athletes across the board. I mean, it's UGA versus Utah in recruiting classes are not even comparable, but the offensive, firepower is kind of the same as the way I look at it. Receivers aren't that great. Utah's receivers weren't that great. You just have to play, a full 60-minute game. You can't have any lapses, and that's been our biggest problem is just you can't have a third down off. You can't have missed assignments, and that's where I think, coming out of the bye week, I think that helps us tremendously. Some time to regroup, get yourselves together, get a 2-week game plan for what you want to do. Just got to execute. So that brings us to our next point that we wanted to talk about, guys, is how is Billy Napier coming off a bye week? This is obviously our first time seeing Billy coming out of a bye week. And adjustments has been a question that we've raised pretty much every week on this show is, halftime adjustments, in-game adjustments. Well, this is a bye week adjustment. You've got 2 weeks to prepare, watch film, let your team rest up a little bit, and just figure out what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong and make the changes. So, Wes, do you think we see a lot of changes coming out this week?
I sure hope so. I've been on Billy's bandwagon as far as him being a long game type of guy, a methodical type of thinker, a guy who makes adjustments. So I'm thinking he sees the problem and the issues on that defense, as well as those that need to be tweaked on our offense. You have a week to prepare for this game. There's some things that you can throw in through self-scouting that Georgia hasn't seen yet, offensively and defensively. But since we're kind of talking more about Billy here offensively, so I would like to see some things that some innovative things that Georgia hasn't seen to that they're not looking for maybe early in the game that you can get them on through that self-scouting. So I'm big on him and his ability to make changes and self-scout himself. So I think he will show us some things on Saturday.
Mike?
I think he's going to do pretty well. I say this because I think he hit a low at the Kentucky game. It was embarrassing to watch, and I'm still a little gas money. But he has progressed. It seems like he's truly, reflecting and not just being stubborn, like this is my way or the highway, no matter, my personnel. Obviously, it's not perfect, but I'm only looking for progression this season, and maybe not, it's not every week exactly what I want, but it's okay. That's normal. You don't always get what you want. So if you give him 2 weeks off and Kirby doesn't know, what to expect truly, especially with this personnel, I'm gonna bet Billy. I mean, I know they got Muschamp, they got Kirby, but they're nicked up over there, and I got faith in Billy with his bye.
Yeah, I think you're definitely going to see some changes, and this once again is where you have a staff of 700 people comes into play too. You've got people breaking down film at all times. You've got he's had people preparing for this game for weeks. Don't get it wrong. So, and he knows what wasn't working beforehand. This is a 2-week off period gives you time to kind of hit the brakes a little bit. It's harder to change week in to week out what you do because you only have so much time to do so. A 2-week gap gives you time to say, all right, guys, we're going to throw this out the window and maybe put in a few new installs to try to run to throw these guys off. And this is a perfect opportunity because, like, Mike said, you're just looking to improve. And this season, for the most part, is a wash. And I'm not saying it doesn't count. It's not important, but we knew we weren't winning championships this year. So, do what you got to do, which leads us to our third point that we wanted to talk about was how aggressive will Billy be in this game? And with that being said, I'm going to throw it to Mike here, but I think you got to be all gas, no brakes, baby.
Billy Balls, baby. Pause, Billy Balls. I was at that Tennessee game. That's what the section was calling him. Billy Balls. This man's going to go for every 4th down. Got nothing to lose. We got nothing to lose. Playing with house money. You get embarrassed? Cool. 22.5-point underdogs. We're about to get the best player in the country. Got nothing to lose. So why not? And if you in a rivalry game, got nothing to lose. If you're the opposing team and then they have NFL talent. You've seen what AR can do. Like it's kind of scary. So I think I wouldn't be surprised to have an onside kick. To be honest with you, open up with an onside kick. You laugh. I'm dead serious.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I didn't think of that. But that's why I laughed.
You see what Sam Pittman did at Alabama? That game was over. Sam Pittman said, "Nuh-uh." Almost had me out of my pick.
I agree with you. That's why you brought up the Tennessee game, and I can see us on 3rd and 6 on the plus 45-yard line, run the ball, knowing that we're going to go for it on 4th. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So with that mindset, that knowing that you have 4 downs to get things, will change the way you call the game. It will change the way the players feel about it. Because I don't want to cuss because we don't cuss on the pod, but I have to say this, I damn sure don't want to see no 47-yard field goals. I need us to be pushed like her said, all gas, no brakes. I need
Nothing outside 40.
Scared money don't make money, Billy, in this game.
Yeah.
Because I believe, like I said, we're going to be able to move the ball. It's all about finishing, and finishing to me is going forward on 4th and 2. Now 4th and 10, stuff to like 12. But it was 3rd and 6. I don't mind us running the ball, knowing we're going to go forward on 4th down. So those are the things that I'm probably going to see. So that you want to look out for. If you're like, why we run the ball on 3rd and 6 and we got 3 yards? Because we're going to go for it on 4th down when we're on the plus side. So I agree with you totally, Mike, on that.
Like I said it to begin with, all gas, no brakes. I mean, what Mike said it. What do you got to lose, man? If you got plays in your back pocket, this is when you take those plays out,
empty the clip,
throw them out there, sprinkle some water on them, and let them bitches grow. Because, if you got plays for Ricky Pearsall to get the ball in some kind of space, do some, with his feet, you do it. Just whatever you got. Let AR just run that ball whenever he feels like needs to run that ball. He's had time now. His ankle should be a little bit more, whatever injuries he was suffering from, he should be in pretty good shape from that. Injury report is clean. Do it, baby. Do it to it all night long. As Lionel Richie like to say, just run it, baby. Just do it. I don't want to see any kind of, I don't want to see 6, 7, 8 wide receiver screens. Get out there and get funky with it, man. Make it weird. I don't have a problem with it. And I don't think most of Gator Nation would have a problem with it, to be very honest with you.
House money.
Hell, half the damn fan base says every week that he needs a play caller because he's not original. So, oh, goodness. Well, guys, we've reached Wes's favorite segment, Impact Players. Where we pick the player that we think will have the most impact on the game this week. And because it's Wes's favorite segment, we're going to let him go first.
Who do you pick, Lady Gaga?
Nah, I'm going with the O-line, man.
The tailgates.
It's impact player. That's singular.
But they say 5 is 1, Mike.
People, Wes.
Don't they? Their model is 5-1.
I'm glad we didn't get. I'm really glad we moved on from a coach. I mean, but do we need to have
5?
No staff?
I thought they said 5 is 1. If I got to pick one guy, I'll pick one. I'll go with Kingsley. He's been getting whipped. He's been very, very underwhelming. He has to do better, especially if Jalen Carter's not in there at D tackle. Then he has to control the game for us and give our running backs those 3rd and 7s I was talking about going for it. We have to dominate in the run game. That's going to be our key to winning. And it starts up front with Kingsley. He can't let those nose tackles. I don't want to see Montrell and Etienne getting hit in the backfield. At least let them get past the yard of scrimmage.
I don't want to see Kingsley running a quarterback.
Yes. He has to do better, man. I was high on him. I think he got hurt last year, but I saw some things early in 2 years ago from that. Okay, this may be a guy for a couple years for us. But last couple of weeks, I've been seeing too many D tackles. Even against Kentucky, I remember that game. He had somebody in the backfield. He was horrible. So he has to improve, and he can give us a chance to win this game. It starts with him control, because I don't have no doubt that Ethan White and Torrance are going to do their jobs. He just has to do his.
Mike?
Alluded to it previously. It's going to be Brenton Cox for me. It's his final. It's going to be his final game facing Georgia. He's definitely not a Kirby fan. And if I remember correctly, part of the reason why we got him is because he gets to face Georgia each year. So I foresee him obviously, losing contain, but a lot of times coaches don't really care as long as you get some sacks. I actually see him getting 2 sacks this game and actually finishing on Stetson Bennett.
Pause.
Damn.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going with the big back, Montrell Johnson. This is a big boy ball game. This is where you put all those G5, all those, small town, small ball game, labels to rest. You get out there, pound it between the offensive line and get big yards in a big game. This is a game where he can make his name across the country. I'd love to see Montrell with 100 plus on the, in the game, maybe a big run in a big time. Got to see it, man. Got to keep that ball moving. Got to pound the rock. All right, guys. It's that our favorite time, score predictions, where we always get it wrong, but we keep trying week to week.
How much we winning by today, Wes?
Now, Wes is going to go last. Me and you are going to go first this week. He requested this. So, Mike, go ahead and give us your prediction.
Got us losing 41-23.
Fake ass fan.
Hey man, got to keep it a buck. Got to keep it a buck.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
This is the only loss I had all year.
I'm gonna go 38-24 UGA. I do think we keep it interesting for a while, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we come back and make it interesting. I still don't think we have the horses to kind of keep going with this. And, obviously our defense hasn't shown me enough to make me feel like we can keep them under 30. So that's what I'm going to go with. 2 touchdown loss. Hopefully one's late to kind of just in garbage time. But Wes, we don't call you the hype man for nothing, buddy. Let us have it.
Yeah, you two guys, first time all year, you guys picked us to lose a game. Y'all know I'm not going there. I can't. I would not go there. We kicked 2 field goals in this game. One before the half, in the half, and one at the end of the game. That's the only 2 field goals I want to see all game. We're going to win this game 27-24. We end Georgia's quest for back-to-backs because they'll lose again, but we're going to give them their first loss because if they only have 1 loss on the year and win the SEC championship game, they're gone. So we're going to give them that first loss. They're going to lose to Tennessee or Alabama to get their second loss, and that's it. That's all she wrote for Georgia and their quest for back-to-back. We started, and we're going to give it to them. Yeah, we beat them first. Even if they beat Tennessee, they're going to lose to Bama. If they lose to Tennessee, then it's over for them. So we start the first loss of 2 that they're going to have. Mike, I know you're trying to see how the numbers go, how you calculate it, but they're not going to the playoff, and we're going to be the reason to start it.
His head's about to blow.
27-24, 2 field goals. We get 1, and it might be Trey Smack this week. He might be the kicker this week. He's going to hit 1 at the end of the half, the long leg. AR is going to get us a drive right before the half. That'll be the first one. And it might be the second one, too. It might be another long
detailed breakdown.
Ooh, so I'm giving y'all the keys to the game. So when we have to put that on our YouTube and we have to put that on Facebook and y'all heard it here first. Trey Smack, play of the game.
Man, had some Mountain Dew.
My God, Spider Monkey.
Had some.
Guys, we got through the whole UGA breakdown, and Wes didn't call Kirby a sucker one time.
I say that for Sunday's Raw Reaction.
You call yourself a fan. You call yourself a fan.
You picked up.
So I thought you said. So what you're saying is you believe the sucker is going to be overlooking the Florida Gators.
Yeah, they're going to be the
Tennessee matchup.
I think they play. The good thing for us is they play Tennessee next week, and that may help us in them overlooking us. So I think we'll be good. I'm all for it.
Well, if we win, guys, you heard it here first. Wes, 27-24, picking Florida to beat Georgia. If he gets it, he hosts the show next week. Not really, but whatever. All right, guys. That's all we got for Georgia Hate Week. Hopefully, all our points come to fruition and everything goes the way we want it to go. And boy, I tell you what, it'd be a huge victory. But if it doesn't go our way, stay calm. Remember what we're doing here. Remember what we're up against. And, stay rational. We're good at doing that. All right, guys, it's time for the weekly pick'ems every week. Here we go. Last week, man, Hershey's got to quit going easy on you guys. That's all I'm about to say out loud right now. Hirsch was the only person, and I said it during the pick'ems that I picked Miami as a reverse jinx, and they damn lost. So you're welcome, everyone. While the rest of them picked Duke. I had an easy one in the bag, and I let it go. So with that being said, Hirsch went 6-4 last week, bringing his record on the year to 55-25. Our boy Mike went 7-3, bringing his record to 51-29. And Wes, the hype man, brought his record was 8-2, bringing his record to 51-29, pulling even with Mike. Still sitting 4 games back of the Hirsch. And our guest picker Connor, 8-2 on the week as well. Good job, Connor. Big shout out to you. Only games he missed was UCLA and Ole Miss getting upset.
You really put yourself in the perk.
Those are my 2 losses too.
Yep. So what you're saying, Wes, is that you piggybacked on Connor's.
He picked after me on those.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So here we go, guys. We got a crappy slate of games this week. A lot of teams on bye, so we're gonna find out who knows ball as always this week, guys, with some of these picks. But here we go, right off the rip. Probably the biggest matchup of the week, if you can call it that. Ohio State at Penn State. Wes?
I'll keep it short. Buckeyes.
Mike?
James Franklin. Buckeyes. Are you kidding me?
I need the helmet, man. Give me the helmet. Buckeyes. Slap that damn thing on there. Ohio State, man, they got to play the easiest damn conference in the whole planet. That's terrible. All right. Because they're ranked, I'm putting it out here. Could Tennessee be overlooking next week's matchup with UGA as Kentucky comes to town? Well, I think we already know Mike's answer because we know Will Levis is still the quarterback there in Kentucky. So, Mike, go ahead and tell us anyway.
Well, last time I checked, Will Levis is bad at football. And Tennessee is not. I'm gonna go with the Vols.
Go ahead, Wes. Yeah, I've been on the hype is a good coach thing for a while now, and I'm gonna continue. Even though I hope Kentucky. Yeah, I told you. Me and you've had this conversation about hype, and even before we did the podcast.
Hasn't been reported.
You said no. Yeah, you know how I felt about hype.
Anyways.
But I'm going with hype. I hope Kentucky wins. I hate Tennessee, but I'm a believer in hype, so I'm continuing with Tennessee.
Yeah, I got to go with Tennessee as well. I think this one's going to get ugly, boys, real fast. The only thing that might happen good in this game is Tennessee's got bad pass defense, so Will Levis may put up a few numbers that make the people that think he's a top 5 pick even more proud of themselves. All right, Ole Miss looks to rebound as they visit Jimbo's, marshmallow
Dumpster
roast
fire
down there in College Station.
Like I've been on the hyper train. I've been off on the Jimbo train, and they get another loss. More players talk about entering the portal, all that stuff that they got going down there. So I'm going back with Texas A&M. Excuse me.
Bless you there, Mike.
I apologize.
I'm going with Joey Freshwater.
Guys, I posed this question to y'all when A&M played Alabama if Jimbo's seat was going to start getting hot. Now, I know he's got a lot of money on the damn contract, but boy, I tell you right now.
I think next year would be hot. I think they're gonna make him give up some responsibilities.
I could see it, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this season's got Dan Mullen territory written all over it right now. The wheels are coming off the old train pulling into College Station about as fast as they can, come off. Ole Miss rolls. All right, back up north, Michigan State at Michigan. Mike, it's your go.
Mel's never lost to. I don't think he's never lost to Michigan. But anyways, I like his record against them. Michigan's obviously like top 5, top 10 in the country. I'm going with Sparty.
Ooh, there's the risk pick. Oh my God, boy! If they win, that might replace his Appalachian State upset. Now that Texas A&M looks so terrible.
Hey, talk to Vegas, not me.
Wes, Michigan State, Michigan.
Yeah, I'm going with khaki pants. I'm going to go with Harbaugh on this one. Khaki pants. Michigan State is a bad football team this year, so I'm going with Michigan.
Yeah, Meat Chicken is going to lose a game here at some point, but it ain't going to happen this week. Michigan. All right. Okay.
I'm to tell you.
Okay. Enjoy being in last place next week. All right. Cincinnati's coming on down to visit Mike's favorite stadium, the Bounce House in Orlando. Cincinnati at UCF. UCF off a fresh loss to East Carolina last week. Wes.
I like Luke, so I'm going to go with Cincinnati. They lost a lot of players this year, and everybody thought they took a step back. Of course, they went to playoffs last year, but they've been a steady, good football team, so I'm going with Cincinnati.
Mike?
This is going to be a bloodbath. One team's coach well, the other team has Gus Malzahn. So, I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick UCF if they were playing Furman or Elon or any other damn team on the planet. So, roll Cincy.
That means they'll win because we all picked them watch.
That's generally how it goes, but damn it, we're going to go down with our pride. That's all that matters. Y'all don't remember that. All right. Oklahoma State at Kansas State. Boy, I tell you, this is a rotten slate of games.
This one's good, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent little game.
Those are my teams. I've been riding with both of those teams. They haven't let me down. I'm scared, man. Shucks, man. I'm going with this is Kansas State. I'm thinking about TCU. My bad. I'm going with Oklahoma State. My bad. I almost tripped up.
Rookie.
Going with Gundy.
Mike?
Okay, State. Go Pokes.
Yeah, I'm going with Barry Sanders University all the way, baby. Oklahoma State, baby. All right. I wouldn't even put this one on here, but things are starting to get interesting. Miami at Virginia. I could just another road game for the Hurricanes every week. Mike?
So you mean just a game?
Yeah, it's just a game.
Yeah. I gotta go Cavaliers. They called me a madman when I picked the Dukies. We're picking another basketball
Everybody
school.
else here called everyone else but me picked Duke to beat to win that game. Called you a madman. Go ahead, Wes. Tell us about that good Miami defense one more time.
Hey, they held North Carolina. They held North Carolina. It wasn't the defense. They didn't give up like 40 like we thought they might have. Virginia is so bad. So is Miami. This is a crazy game, man. I'm gonna go with Virginia's home. Even though Miami's used to playing on the road, I'm gonna still go with Virginia.
Miami is catching L's until further notice. Mario's got to show me, and you turn the ball 8 times. You turn the ball over 8 times versus Duke in your quote unquote home stadium. I got no love for you on Tobacco Road. So go for it, Virginia, baby.
Yeah, they're coming off 18 penalties and then 8 turnovers, and now they have a first game starter.
All right. Back to SEC country for these next ones. First and foremost, Missouri at South Carolina. Wes, I know you hate South Carolina.
Man, South Carolina has a chance to be 6-2 before they play us. Something. They didn't win the next 2, they'll be like 6-2. So they have a lot of momentum. It's hard to play down there in that stadium. Like very, very hard to pay Williams Bryce. So
all them cock noises.
Yeah, that's thanks to Spurrier. He did that. So I'm gonna go with USC.
Go ahead, Mike. Tell us how about that Arizona quarterback's going to fare this week.
Well, the Arizona quarterback, if you look, he's played like an Arizona quarterback as of late. He's not played well, but they have won the ball game. So Beamer, he's not the greatest coach, but he's got a lot of energy. He's got those boys playing well. I mean, like Wes was saying, they have the momentum right now. So I'm going South Carolina over Dink and Dunk.
Yeah, I say 6-2. They have the chance to be 7-2 before we play them. They got
that means it's an upset. All right. One more SEC game. Arkansas at Auburn.
Did you pick?
Oh, my bad. I didn't pick. I apologize. Yeah, I'm going with South Carolina all the way in that.
Amateur.
It's good. I'm glad you threw it out there so nobody could say I had to forfeit a pick next week. Though. So, yeah, South Carolina in their stadium all the way. Go ahead, Mike. Arkansas at Auburn.
Darude Sandstorm, by the way. All right. Well, Auburn has the worst coach in Power 5, Brian Harsin. So I'm going to go with Pig Suey, Sam Pittman.
Wes, I have to ask just because it's a formality, but I know where you're rolling.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Sam. Pittman guy.
You would think, like, Sam Pittman is like Wes's God uncle or something. I don't know, man.
I actually saw a statue one day.
Yeah, Auburn is god awful at American football. Give me Arkansas. All right. Due to the lack of good games, this 10th one's going to be a tricky one like we did a couple of weeks ago. But this week, the over-under for Florida, Georgia is set at 56.5 points, guys. So we're going to say, are we going to hit over or under on this one?
Heavy over.
You got the over? Mike's got the over. Wes, over or under 56.5 points?
Well, I have to go by my score prediction, so it's going to be under.
Yes, you do. I knew
with
that.
Those 2 field goals.
Yep. That's a lot of points, man. Even if we lose 40-20 or 45-20, you still lose.
We're gonna get our points, and they're gonna get their
23.
Yeah. We're gonna get our points. They're gonna get their points. I don't think 56.5 is that far of a stretch. So without a doubt, I'm going over, and this game will be 16-13 at the end. So. Because God knows if whatever can happen. Like we said with the LSU game, we all said under, and that went to crap in a handbag. So, guys, another fantastic show, another great episode, tons of information. We hope y'all enjoy everything that we bring to the table for y'all each and every week. We just kind of keep trying to up the ante every week. As the boy Mike always says, it's a lifestyle. If you're not getting better, Mike,
you're getting worse.
That's the man saying it's his mantra. He lives by it. You should probably do the same. So, guys, anything y'all want to add before we jump?
I'll be in the trenches.
I forgot about that, guys. I'm so sorry. Mike will be in the trenches, in the streets of Jacksonville this week. Wish him well. Tell him to get a tetanus shot. All that good stuff gets funky down there.
I'll get a B12 shot. Get ready to go.
Might be some wild videos on deck this week. Make sure you check all our social medias for videos dropping this weekend.
Yes, sir.
You got anything else you want to drop for us, Mike?
Yeah, Bateman's got us.
That's right. Bateman's got us.
And friendly reminder that Wes was wrong about the O-line recruiting.
Oh, Lord. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. I'm cutting it out. Cutting it out right now.
It was a statement.
Cutting it off. Cutting you off. Cut his mic. All right, guys. Before I kick it to Wes, I want to say one more time, thank you so much for all your support on the last episode. We did great numbers. The show continues to grow, and it's all because of y'all's love and support. We couldn't do this without you. And it's what we do for, man. We love the comments. We love the feedback. Please make sure when you go and download this episode from wherever you get your podcast from. You can leave us a review. And if you watch it on YouTube, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about it. If you think me and Mike are fake fans for picking UGA to win, let us know. We accept the criticism. If you think Wes is a sunshine pumper, let him know, man. We live with it all.
I will gladly engage.
He will gladly take all your comments. But just a reminder, guys, we're available wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure you go give us a download. Make sure you hit us up on YouTube at Respect Our Decision. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you get a notification every time we upload new content each and every week. And as always, if you'd like to support us as creators, check us out on Patreon. Respect Our Decision. Every dollar that we earn, we throw back into the show to make it better and better for you guys so that you enjoy your listening experience. And with that being said, guys, we're going to kick it to Wes so he take us home.
Appreciate it, Hirsch. I forgot to mention this too. Sunday, we will do, we're going to do our raw reaction. So I will, like we did last time, we may poll a couple questions on our Twitter page and our Facebook page, answer some of you guys' questions. So any concerns or things you may have that we'll pull. Some of you guys sometimes ask the same question, so we'll just combine it. But thank you guys for your input back into it. So we try to keep you guys involved too. But as we end the show, as usual, we support our troops here. So if you know anyone that is a veteran or maybe a veteran yourself and you're trying to have questions maybe about benefits and how that process works, please contact us and ask the question, and we will get back to you with the answers in a timely fashion. We thank you. We support our troops, and go Gators. And for the record, we had to flip somebody. So go ahead, Hirsch.
Commits, baby.
Cutting y'all off. End of the night. Gator Nation, we love y'all. We thank you for all the support. And as always, go Gators.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.